Hello pilots, this is Kix here with another realistic battle, flying out the La5f and the Focke-Wulf 190 A1 today. First we're going to start with the La5f. It is a tier 3 aircraft with a battle rating 3.3, armed with two 20mm Focke cannons, max speed 584 kilometers per hour, max altitude a lot. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But this is a little bit of we're going into the Americans here. I'm not really gonna get too much into the stats of the LA5 or really Focke-Wulf 190. One, these are tier 2 aircraft. A lot of you have them, and um, you know, you can look for the stats yourself. Um, today I'm facing the Americans today. Most of the people that I'll be placing will actually be flying the P-47, which is weird, which is why I can see why the P-47 has the battle rating that it has, because a lot of people like turn fighting in the P-47. I have no clue why. It's irritating. But when the enemy makes a mistake, don't interrupt its bad manners. On with the battle. Now I start the climb, and knowing that I don't have this plane anywhere close to upgrading it or fully upgraded, this thing is bone dry stock. There's no upgrades on it whatsoever. I level out at about I want to say 3,000. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong on that. And I start to actually get my speed up so that I can engage at combat speed. Scanning the sky for targets, I'm going to come into contact with a P-47 pilot here in a minute, and I start to basically lock arms with him, and I take him down to the deck, and you're going to see my atrocious aim with these 20mm Focke cannons. It's absolutely horrible. Now the P-47 and the La-5, these are two very dangerous aircraft in the right hands. The La-5 is one of those planes that doesn't really need um, a new pilot or an experienced pilot, excuse me, to make it really work. New pilots can jump into this plane and kind of, rape face. Um, it's fast, it turns well, it climbs fairly decent. It's not it's not that well of a climber, but it can get up there. Those 20mm are fucking amazing at just obliterating anything you point at. So much, yeah. Even damage sponges like the P-47 just can't handle those 220mm smacking you right in the ass. But nonetheless, the P-47 in and of itself, in the right hands, I should say, because the reason why the P-47 has such a low battle rating is because people like to turn fight with it, which is why people aren't doing good with it, which in turn makes Gaijin lower the battle rating, which in turn irritates a lot of actual P-47 pilots, because you're really not supposed to turn fight with the P-47 at all. It's a speed demon. These things are bad fast. They do not turn at all. Oh my god. It's amazing how many times I'll see P-40 pilots misuse their aircraft, whether it be simulated battle, realistic battle, in arcade. Now, arcade, I can kind of give a little bit of lean toward, or not hit you hard, not criticize you as much, because it's arcade. The arcade physics is a little bit different than realistic battles. As you can see, the P-47 pilot dips under me. I let him go under me and let him get a little bit of distance. And as I swing around, I engage him. He's gonna start turning. If that P-47 pilot wanted to, or was I don't want to say smart because he could, he could be a fairly new pilot, just getting into realistic battles. He doesn't really know. Um, this could have been his first time flying the P-47 for all we know. And yeah, my terrible name with the LA7 or with the LA5F. Yeah, I need some practice with this aircraft in realistic mode at least. But if this P-47 pilot wanted to, what he should have done was, after he dipped under me, just kept going. Just kept going, or dove away. I would have never caught him. I would have never caught him, especially not with an LE5 that's bone stock. I would have never caught him. He would have zipped away. Probably would have engaged someone else. Maybe took someone else down with him. Something. But he starts turning. He starts maneuvering. I'm getting inside his turn. Just a terrible fucking aim on my shipback cannons. I'm throwing the plane around like a ragdoll again. I start getting hits right about here. There, I start landing hits, and any second now, there goes the fire. Critical hit him, set him on fire, hit those cannons, put more shots in to ensure that he's going down. See another P-47 coming in, and I roll to engage. Now this one is kind of, I think I may have stole someone's kill by complete accident, because I put shots in on him, nothing critical, but he goes down anyway. And that's pretty much the match for me. I'm actually running low on ammunition, and I spend the remainder of the time, wondering, should I go back to base or should I go help? 15 those 25 to 30 shots of cannon ammunition that I still had could have done some significant damage to the remaining P-39, P-38s, or P-39s that were in the game. But my aim is fucking horrible. On to the Focke-Wulf 190 A1. This is possibly one of the best Corsair pilots I've ever seen. I can't see his name at the moment because my screen is too small, but obviously you guys can see his name probably. I honestly don't know, but this guy is hands down one of the best Corsair pilots I've ever seen. I'm looking around for targets, and I'm noticing there's an FW190 RB down there, and there's a Corsair pilot, and there's another Focke-Wulf 190 pilot, and I noticed that he's turn fighting with the Corsair, and I'm not really thinking and paying attention to it, because I'm thinking, okay, that's a Focke-Wulf 190, he can handle himself, and then it dawned on me, wait a minute, a Corsair is going to outturn a Focke-Wulf 190 at that altitude. I better get my ass down there and handle them. Now, I wing it over right about here. Any fucking second now. There goes. I wing it over. Was going to dive straight at him, but he starts to maneuver. So I pitch my nose up a little bit, as well as to not overcook my dive and rip my wings off. That would be bad. As I'm watching the other Focke-Wulf 190 pilot retreat, he is in full retreat. He's actually going to be the last guy left alive. The Corsair pilot drops off my radar, but I still see him as a glint. I still spot him. I move to engage. He's still engaging the HE-129. Overcooked to dive, or not overcooked to dive, just not very bad firing angle. Not going to be able to really do anything yet. I'm going to move to engage him here in a second. Trying to pick the perfect time to be able to engage that Corsair without either overcooking my dive or hitting me 129B. Stalking him at altitude. See him wing over. I see him engaging. Again, he's not paying any attention to me. Wing it over again, but the turn's too tight. I won't be able to get a firing angle. Dive on him. Can't get guns on. I'll use that speed that I just gained from the dive. Turn it right back into the altitude. Get right back into a position to be able to dive on him again and wing it over. Dive on him again. Can't get the guns on again. Take it right back into the vertical. This is how you use the Focke-Wulf 190 in pretty much any German aircraft, and this is actually how he should be using his Corsair. He should be using his Corsair very much in slow speed. If he would have caught me at my altitude, there's nothing I could have done. I cannot run away from... I can barely run away from a Corsair. Barely, just barely. The Corsairs are fast. But the better thing is that I have a little bit better climb with him. Once again, I go at him again. I don't know why I didn't shoot him right there. I had him dead to rights. He starts maneuvering though. I'm not going to fight his fight. The Corsair turns a lot better than the Focke-Wulf 190 at lower altitudes. Take it back into the vertical. Get ready to dive on him again. I'm trying to save the 129B, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to save him. I'll let the Corsair roll under me. He's going right after the 129B. I rolled a dive. Loop around the dive. I wanted to split S and go right at him, but unfortunately I was way too low to do that. Roll in again. Try to get guns on. Can't get the guns on. Take it right back into the vertical. Get my altitude back. Now, this is that moment where the Corsair pilot starts trying to match me for climb. Now, had he been at my altitude and dove with me, there is a very good chance that that Corsair could have actually ran me down. And even in a climb, even in my burst climb like this, he was only, even right now, that Corsair pilot was only just a few feet away from being able to just pull the trigger and just rail me. Corsairs have very good energy retention. They have a very powerful engine, and those gold wings, holy God, those gold wings. They're lovely with lift. Corsairs are actually very good climbers. He was actually very close to having a firing angle on me, and I knew this. So my only chance to actually do anything was to wing it over, duck under him, and run. That's all I could do. I cannot turn fight with a Corsair. It would have been suicide. It would have been the worst move. I would have made him pretty much my War Thunder career. Well, maybe not the worst decision. So I get low, treetop level, and run away from him. Corsair pilot turns to follow, but I'm already in my dive, and I was already going way too fast for him to catch me. Still running, he's still trying to chase me down, and he's gaining. He promptly could have loitered around at altitude and waited till I leaped off web to dive on me and kill me. Corsair pilot turns off. I use the opportunity to gain altitude. And here's where the dogfight truly begins. Corsair pilot turns back into me. We're not going to go face to face with 550 cals or 650 cals. Doesn't matter what aircraft I'm in. 650 cals, those are pilot killers right there. And those are module damage. And those are module destroyers. .650 cals can do a lot of damage, as well as my cannons, but I'm not willing to take that risk. Stalking him at altitude, I start rolling and maneuvering. He starts to climb up at me. I roll it over, duck under him. He takes a shot, can't get guns on. I take it vertical. He dives for speed. He actually damn near gets guns on me there. Like, that was close. But as he didn't retain enough energy to just get guns on me, he manages to stall. He ducks under me. I go over him. I gain distance. Bring it back over. Wing it over to the left. Get some altitude and prepare to dive. Coming into the head-on again. Once again, I do not trust those 50 cals not to take out my pilot. I've been in too many situations where I've gotten my pilot knocked out by American fighters. Those 50 cals, wing it around, I duck under him again. Fake roll to the side, then bank away to one side, take it vertical, wing it over again, and this is where I've got him. I loop around, and I loop over him. He's down low. He's attempting to run away from me now. Now at this time my water was overheating, and I actually wanted to cool that down before I started engaging with him. Throughout that whole time, I've been on and off my WEP really hard, trying to get altitude and trying to get away from him, especially when I was trying to run away from him. So now I'm just sitting at altitude at about 85, 75, no, probably about, I think it was 75% power. Loitering around at altitude, waiting to strike. At this moment, he's going for a landing, and I was gonna let him land, but I'm adopting a new rule, and I actually got this new rule from Mags. If he's landed, then I won't strafe him out on the runway. But since he has not landed yet, wheels have not touched down on the runway, he's still an air target. I move to fake him out to engage. He's gonna overshoot that landing. He's gonna lift his wheels off. He is now an air target. And then I take him out. Now that's pretty much GG for me. We go on to lose this game. I actually I strafe out a damaged Spitfire that was not on the runway, but just kind of coasting down to a landing. I ended up strafing him out, and because I did that, because I loitered around their base a little too much, I ended up actually running out of fuel. I did manage to land at base, but I got strafed out by two P-47s closing distance on me.